Julia and I are now in the tortoise exhibit, and we are joined by Patrick. Thank you for being here.
Of course.
And we are doing an experience that you can do here at Miller Park Zoo. So what are we doing?
That's right. So we'll be feeding our Galápagos tortoises.
All right, and I right now have a stick with a sweet potato on it.
That's right.
And what else do they eat?
So these guys will primarily eat a lot of different greens. They'll get a variety of mustard greens, collard greens. They love different herbs like mint or thyme. So primarily they eat a lot of different greens. We'll mix in vegetables as well and a specialized tortoise pellet.
Okay. And I feel like this is in true tortoise fashion, right? Tortoise in the hair, slow and steady, He's taking his time chewing.
He does.
Would you like some more?
He will. He'll take it. Look at that.
There he goes. Wow, look at that. There you go, buddy.
So tortoises don't have teeth, they actually have a beak.
Okay.
So you'll see, and I'll have you hold the next one up so he can come up for it.
Okay.
They have really long necks. I'm gonna switch you sticks, perfect.
Okay.
They have really long necks, which is one of the ways in the wild that they compete. So males, when they're competing over territory, they'll reach their necks as tall as they can and the tallest one wins.
Oh, wow. And then what happens? They win what? The female or?
They win the land.
Oh,
they win
the territory?
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
And do they lay eggs? Do they hibernate? What are some other fun tortoise facts?
They lay eggs. So these are Galápagos tortoises. So they live in the Galápagos Islands. They're tropical animals. They are herbivores. They will lay eggs. They'll incubate those eggs. But because they're from a warm place, they don't go through that hibernation that you're asking about. With these animals and reptiles, we call that brumation. But these don't because they are tropical. And Patrick let them out today because we had warm enough weather. But they do have a viewing window for winter time when they need to stay in the warm.
Whoa, look at that. Ooh, he's trying to take the stick with him.
Yeah.
Wow, I see now why we feed them off the stick and not out of our hands.
Yes, exactly.
Strong jaws there.
So these are large reptiles. They can get to be over 300 pounds.
Okay.
And live well into their hundreds. So our boys are in their 30s, but he's 33 actually.
He's 33. So he's a baby still, basically.
He's young.
In tortoise years. All right, here we go. Look at that.
So our reptile facts would be that he is ectothermic. So the reason why they're in the winter is because they can't warm up their own body.
Okay.
You and I are endothermic. We sweat when we get hot. We shiver when we get cold. But these guys use the sun to get warm. So if they don't have sun, they're usually not going to be outside.
Right.
Yeah. They're also covered in scales.
Okay.
And they have that shell, both made of keratin. So what our hair is made of is
Right.
what their scales and their shell are made of. And at the end here, if you want, we can touch that shell and you can feel how hard they are.
Okay.
There is a myth that you can count the rings on a tortoise.
I was going to ask about that. Is that a myth?
That's a
Patrick?
myth.
That's a myth?
It's not true.
Okay, so counting these, because I can see right now that there's way more than 30.
Way more than 30, yeah. You're going to spend a lot of time counting rings. They're not trees, they're tortoises.
They're tortoises. It's so funny how those myths happen. I know that everyone always says, oh, you have the memory of a goldfish. Does goldfish have a 5-second memory? That is also a myth.
Yeah.
Goldfish have like at least a 5-month memory and they're trainable. So I don't know where these things start.
Right.
All right, I'll give him one more and then we'll test his shell. He's munching on the
he found a good
remnants.
sweet potato, exactly.
He'll end with a nice bright orange mustache after we're done.
It's like a milk mustache, but a sweet potato mustache. All right, you want another one? Come on. He's so pretty and it's so slow how he comes out. Look at that, wow. Good job,
That was a good
buddy. That was a really good one.
You could see him grab it. Yeah. And this is actually one of the things we offer at Miller Park Zoo. So you can call ahead and schedule a tortoise feeding and come out and feed our tortoises.
Yeah, It's funny, I bet you it's because, to me, his shell feels kind of like a tree trunk. So I wonder if that's why people equated it.
Yeah, well, and that also is a good indicator of their health. So the fact that we have a good shell that's even, we don't have big lumps coming out, we don't have an indent in the front here, that means he got good nutrition.
Right. Well, thank you for letting me do this. Thank you for being here, Patrick, and we're gonna go see some more animals.